candidates and the host for my tardiness. One of the great things about where I work is that I get to meet and speak with a lot of smart individuals, especially the students. Also professors. There's one professor in particular who's an expert on parking. He knows everything about parking, both the history and contemporary issues.
Except for space.
Tax revenue, and also space. So he recently wrote a case study looking at Pasadena. And so some of you might know that it has had great success with its policy of returning parking meter revenue, right? We should be thinking about alternative revenue streams in this difficult period of austerity. So returning parking meter revenue to the city's business districts to pay for improving sidewalks and the alleys. In many ways, that policy helped transform old Pasadena from a commercial skid row. I'm not sure how exactly accurate that was, but that's the way it was described 30 years ago, to a very popular destination area. So is that something you might support? But think about it out of the box a little bit, right? Don't necessarily think business, maybe think about alternative uses of revenue that might be applied in other contexts, perhaps in a more residential neighborhood such as Boyle Heights or some of the areas of downtown as well.
Supervisor, why don't you start us off on that?
Absolutely. Well, you know, one of the first things we needed to do is probably go back to what we used to have before, which were the parking districts. Because that way you make the investment back into that first neighborhood. Right now we're losing or have no municipal parking lots. We don't have them in Boyle Heights, we don't have them in Eagle Walk, and we don't have them in Highland Park. And everybody is striving to find that parking space. So we need more municipal parking lots, and that is something, an initiative that the city must take on. Second of all, it should be directed clearly within the same neighborhood, absolutely. We saw that kind of transition going on right before I was leaving the city council. All of a sudden money was going out of downtown to build projects in Hollywood and things of that sort. It has been destructive. We should go back to the original plans of having parking districts. And if you look at downtown, what's regrettable about what's going on, every single parking lot is being sold to developers for development. Where are we all going to park? How are people downtown not only going to shop, but where in fact are they going to come and park to visit their friends? We have an awful lot of work to do, and it starts with leadership, which is what's been lacking.
Ms. Diaz, go ahead, Ms.
Yes, again, it goes back to the community plan. We need to get that in place, that as a solid plan so that we can move forward. In Boyle Heights, I was the first one to get preferential parking on my street. The councilman at the time thought it was difficult, it wasn't going to work because it's too expensive, but it did. We do need to put parking meters back so that there's constant flow of people coming into the communities and buying at the businesses that are in the different neighborhoods. The parking lots, they don't really bring a solid tax increment, so I think there's other alternatives. In Boyle Heights we have